The lock-in is a whole vibe. Now, in the sense that it's an experience that stays with you. The way people from different genders, different places, different ages respectfully receive each other's contributions, share and learn from one another in a caring way, thoughtfully reasoning with one another, and you kind of step away from it. You look at it and you say, "Hey, this is the Jesus way. This is right here, right now, what Jesus was talking about." Difference does not mean indifference when Jesus is in the mix, and that stays with you. That's powerful. The lock-in is the start of a conversation that we have to be committed to taking away and continuing. It's as simple as that. The lock-in is a response. You see, it's important to ask ourselves what the role of the church is and what that role looks like in today's society. And so, what often happens is young people discuss this with other young people, older adults discuss it with other older adults, officers have the same necessary conversations with other officers. And that's brilliant. But at some point, these groups have to come together and explore and share, sharpen and enlighten one another. Those with visions have to meet with those who enable so that building can take place. The coming together to do all of this avoids there being, several churches in one gathering or in one church. The lock-in is just one of those bridges that allow the communication to take place. Recognizing how important it is for us to cross over and understand each other. Understanding as an important part of communication. As we see with the Tower of Babel, that as long as they understood each other, they were able to build. And so the lock-in is that bridge, recognizing that we have to provide that place where people can understand each other so we can build. Going back to that military theme, the lock-in is a base. So real military bases, they hold equipment, they facilitate training. It's that safe place where soldiers are never out of role, but can be reminded that they're not alone, can relax with fellow soldiers, be strengthened, encouraged, develop, and brush up on skills, and then go back out to battle, feeling prepared, stronger, and determined. And that's a lock-in.
Lock-In is special forum created by the Southern Women's Ministry of the Church of God 7 Day. Its aim is to facilitate open and honest discussion on topics that are real and relevant to us today. Many people want to participate in these discussions, but they're very shy about how they might be perceived by others. Lock-In provide that very safe and neat environment where people are able to discuss their views, share their opinions in a way that they will leave not feeling judged by others for their opinions or feelings on these topics. That's what lock-in is.
The lock-in is an intense and intimate exploration of issues that affect the church and society as a whole. It's a safe place where we can participate, we can hear, we can listen, we can share a variety of topics, some of which would generally be considered taboo.
Anyone who recognizes that they are a functioning part of the body of Christ, and that they are called to work alongside other functioning parts of the body in order to fulfill a divine purpose. That means the lock-in is open to males, females, young and older adults. The lock-in is for anyone who realizes that we should have a shared awareness of what this purpose is and how we succeed in it, almost strategically, but by the Spirit of God. To have a habit of looking at demographics, for example, and asking unitedly, Lord, how best do we use this information to do your will? And then being selfless and in agreement to work towards that together with a militant determination that pleases God. The lock-in should be attended by anyone who appreciates that they are part of a community. Now, I've gone with the word community rather than the Lord's army, which I was going to use, because I think it better emphasizes that the individual's goals and the goal of the collective are so fused and so entwined, and that relationships are so fundamental to the fulfilled purpose. So, if a person appreciates that they are part of a community that cannot and must not be phased or shy away from the messiness of this world, the urgent needs and challenging issues, that we must, as a community, meet these head on in combat, that we are to be offensive as well as prayerfully defensive, that we're to have our feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, that when we step into anarchy and chaos, we take peace, we leave peace, and we are gripped with sturdy footing because guess what? We stand on this peace. Yet, with such an assurance and responsibility, we still have to ask, how do I go into all that mess and not get messed up? you know, how do we not only stand ready to serve those who come through our doors with needs, but to go out to find the doors of those with needs?
Well, initially, when we began planning for the lock in, we were targeting young people because we felt that the topics we were looking at would give the young people opportunities to explore their feelings, discuss their viewpoints, validate their feelings, their core beliefs on these topics. Um, what we realized though is that the uptake on lock in last year included adults of varying age range. And this was because they realized that these topics were important. And it was not that we were providing the solution or the completion to these topics, it was really engaging people in beginning to think about these topics that we're not normally engaged in a church setting.
Everyone is welcome, and we want all ages to be involved, but we are specifically targeting 15 to 25-year-old. The aim of the lock-in is to support, build and equip one another and the church, to bridge gaps, to encourage prayer life and encourage one another to grow into the soldiers of Christ that we need to be, especially in these challenging times.
Who should come to the lock-in? Anyone who realizes that they are a soldier for Christ. I have two dog tags because I find them trendy. And I've personalized mine with quotes about setting oneself as Flint. That's my thing. But the real reason they're worn in the military is quite serious and can be seen as a bit grim. They're worn as a way to identify military personnel that are wounded or killed in action. Can you imagine being faced with your mortality every time you had to put one on? But similarly, soldiers of Christ are called to do the same to some degree, to face their mortality, but with a hope of an eternal reward, to fight the good fight, and to finish the race. Second Timothy says, endure hardness, right? To endure hardness as a good soldier of Christ. And so throughout the lock-in, you will be exposed to an intense military theme and pace and expected and encouraged to endure the mental and physical challenge of the lock-in. The lock-in takes the rich imagery from the Bible and enjoys it and has fun with it. The team wears khaki, military language is used. For example, groups are called battalions. The timing of sessions are uncompromised. um, there's a real disciplined and regimental feel about the evenings, the sessions, but it's well balanced with brotherly love. The lock-in is for those who want to celebrate the deliberate and perfect themes in the Bible and be a part of it, take part, participate in it, coming alive and becoming real. Because when the word is real, we live it. We live it. Well, usually the lock-in takes place in a building late into the early hours of the morning, with several groups rotating around several stations, each a topic for conversation and prayer, without any breaks and keeping to a strict schedule. The facilitators are transparent, they're down to earth, they keep it real, and they're experts, the topics that they're facilitating. There's definitely a physical and mental challenge but it's fun. And the sessions are followed by a mukbang. I'll describe it as an awesome time reasoning together whilst breaking bread. The obvious difference this year, lockdown edition, is that it cannot take place in a building, because of COVID, and we can't have a mukbang. We've replaced the physical food with even more spiritual food by holding devotions that must be attended by participants at the dawn and the days of the sessions. This type of fellowship allows, and contributes to the intimacy. Speaking of intimacy, this year's challenge for the team is that we have to transfer these intimate and vibrant conversations to an online podium. Actually, I got that wrong. It's not a challenge for the team, it's a challenge for all of us because we all make it happen. As much as it's tempting to increase the numbers and open it out to a wider audience, we are committed to working towards a safe environment and that safe place, that intimate place for sharing. And so we're still capping the numbers. There are still limited places. And so people have to come and register because there's still a certain number of places and it's going to fill up real quick. So this year, the lock-in takes place over 3 weekends. It's spread over 3 weekends, 3 dates, instead of taking place all in one night. And those dates are the 19th of September, the 26th of September, and the 3rd of October. I repeat, it's the 19th of September. You're not going to want to miss that. The 26th of September, you are definitely not going to want to miss that. And the 3rd of October, guess what? You're not going to want to miss that. So put it in your diaries because you guys make it happen. We facilitate it, but you guys make Lock-In what it is. Register by the 5th of September and you will get a registration goodie pack sent to you. So register at Eventbrite, the details below, or by texting on the number shown so that top secret mission lock-in details can be sent to you, as well as the terms and conditions of lock-in. So I'll see you there. Make those dates available. Put them in your diaries. This year we have merch. When you successfully complete this year's lock-in, as well as receiving your standard certificate, which is signed by the President of the British Conference, you also become eligible to purchase lock-in merch. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got vest tops, exclusive stuff. You have to endure it in order to wear it.